Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Gameboiz. Is our intro too long? Probably. But am I going to do anything about it? Absolutely not. No, okay?
No, can't afford it.
I need to fit an entire generation's worth of sound drops in there. That's not my fault. So, welcome. Today, across the table from me is my co-host, as per usual, Mr. Willie D20, William Henderson.
What's up, y'all?
And our guest today is the very special Brian Matthews. I would say arcade owner, PlayStation 5 owner. That should be in your handle, PlayStation 5 owner.
It is my main comedy credit as of right now.
That's clout, dude. That is clout.
Yeah. Thank you for being here. I did have one question, and it's
just one.
Yeah, just one. It's the same for you. I don't know if I've ever asked you this. Do you guys? What's your first video game that you recall you sitting down and be like, oh no, fuck this, I have to beat this game, almost out of like anger, like not even because it's such a good game, but you're like, oh fuck this shit. I need to get it.
I know what mine is. Do you know what yours is?
Yeah. Sunset Riders.
What is
Super
that?
Nintendo. You know what it is, you just don't know you know what it is. It's that stupid 4-player cowboy shooting game that was in every arcade. I specifically remember every single pizza party that we did at Round Table Pizza in Riverside had it. So for Little League, we would go and we would just save all these quarters for the pizza party, and then it's a 4-player game, and we would sit there and just pump probably hundreds of dollars into it until we would beat it. And then it came out on Super Nintendo, so of course we bought it and then just played that religiously through our childhood.
I'm looking it up right now, and I've never seen this game in my life.
Let me see.
So it's actually on that giant arcade system that I have that has like 19,000 games.
Oh, so we need to run it back, is what you're saying.
Oh wow, this looks like some Metal Slug shit.
So it's basically like Turtles in Time style, or it's just side-scrolling fighting, except instead of like weapons that hit people, you just shoot people. So it's incredibly racist. Didn't realize that until I got the arcade system, went back and played it, and was like, holy cow, this is racist. Like, the depictions of Native Americans in it is just horrid. Like, this game came out probably in 1991 or 92 or something.
Dude, there's some times like when I was working with kids where like we'd be watching like old cartoons, like old like goofy cartoons or whatever it may be. And then it just comes upon an episode where they just have like a depiction of Native Americans, and you're like,
it's
whoa.
Basically like the Peter Pan Disney movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like that, where you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
How did they not edit this part out?
Yeah.
We have Disney Plus, so we started watching all the old ones.
Well, what's interesting on Disney Plus is like at the bottom of the description, it's like, by the way, this may contain material that's sensitive. It's really funny.
Yeah, this hasn't aged well.
Yeah, that's basically what they're saying.
Pinocchio has aged terribly also.
I watched the one with the dogs. Not Fox and the Hound, the one Lady and the Tramp.
Okay.
And they had that warning on there, and I didn't notice anything. And I think it's because of some of the dogs are depicted at, like, there's a Chihuahua that's depicted as like Mexican. It's like
they did that in Oliver and Company.
But it's like
it's an alien.
Yeah.
I was like, did they do that in Beverly Hills, Chihuahua?
Did they? Yeah, but it's like Chihuahuas are Mexican.
Yeah, that's Taco Bell's fault. That's nobody else.
Yeah, that's
Isn't
well
that
known.
A name in a city name in Mexico?
Chihuahua.
I think it's a state or like a yeah, I think so. But yes, it is. It is a place. So like, that's not that crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were talking about Disneyland, and I'd like to, Jungle Cruise is a classic, and I didn't realize, like, it was always talked about how Jungle Cruise was racist and whatnot, and it is.
Wait,
it
the
was
new one with the Rock?
No, the ride, the attraction.
Obviously I've never been there. So
and it's like, yeah, I get it.
So
it
the
looks
movie
rude.
is based on a ride?
Yeah,
that's upsetting.
Absolutely,
that's really upsetting.
It's a staple of Disneyland.
Is it?
Yeah, it's like. they had to they trekked water. Like a lot of those trees in the Jungle Cruise are from like different California freeways, and like they had to cultivate this like oasis in the middle of a fucking desert. Like it was a project. It was a chore. Disney was trying to do things that no one else had done before. So, yeah, I think it was the first thing. It took years to make, and they had to start it a year earlier because they wanted to give like the trees time to grow into it and everything.
Wow.
So
they thought about it.
Yeah, that's my favorite part about Disneyland is the engineering behind it. Is looking around and be like, oh, that's a speaker? That's fucking genius. Like the way they made it. Oh, these on the wall, those are laser blasts. Like that's bananas to me.
What do you mean they're laser blasts?
Like in if you walk through like the Smuggler's Run, even like if you look on the walls, there are like holes in the wall that are burnt.
Oh, like the new stuff.
Okay,
I see.
But even in like Pirates as well, like in the old ones, like they have little details like that where you're like, holy shit!
It's like an actual movie set.
Yeah,
that's what I thought when I went to Universal and went through like the walk through like zombie like Day of the Dead thing. I don't know what it was exactly, but they had this place where it was like it looked like there were papers like littered on the floor, but it was just like painted on the ground, and I was like, damn, they actually like had to like place stuff like that. To make it look random is really impressive.
Yeah. What was I talking about? Oh, Jungle Cruise. So there's I didn't realize how racist it was until I was watching this show. I think it's on Disney Plus about the Jungle Cruise, and that's where I learned about it. But they would try to give you shots of certain parts of the ride, and I want to say like half of it is like out of focus and like a little because like there's one part where there's a bunch of in the original one, black dudes being chased up a pole by a rhinoceros, and they were taking footage, and that was still the black dudes. If you go back now, it's like there's white dudes, it's like it's everyone basically. It's all inclusive, and so there's all the racist stuff. It's out of focus, and that's like 50% of the show.
That's weird.
It's just like B-roll. They just walk right over it, and they're like, oh, all right.
Mm-hmm. Jungle Cruise out now in theaters, rated G.
Yeah, this episode of Gameboiz brought to you by The Rock and The Hard Place, because that's where we're stuck. What's your game?
Oh yeah, okay. Mine was I think probably Grand Theft Auto 3.
That's hella late, bro.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I was never like I need to finish this game. I was just like I played a lot of sports games when I was younger too, so there was no like beating them necessarily.
You can't be like Pokemon where you get like a level 100 character, you just knock it, like cracking out home runs every time or something.
And like football.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and that's the fun part. That's what you work towards. Yeah.
Is that not beating it?
But because you can keep going. You can win more championships. There's never an end.
I don't get sports.
Anyway, with Grand Theft Auto 3, it was before I got a memory card, so it was like I'd leave my...
Man, I did that with Final Fantasy VII one summer. I don't think my PlayStation 1 was turned off for like 6 straight weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And my dad came in one time, like during the day when I was gone, and like turned it off. He's like, it was still going. I'm like, I did that on purpose.
Just cry, brokenhearted.
I did that with
I think it was Spyro. Yeah, I needed to beat Spyro, but my original need to beat game was Super Metroid on the Super Nintendo. Holy fuck, dude! I think I broke a controller.
Yeah,
because it's just like if I enter this room one more time and it's the same fucking place, I'm gonna kill myself at 7. Like at 7, bro.
I wrote a whole bit on how like the reason kids are different today than us. Like I don't know, how old are you?
31.
Okay, I'm 36.
29.
So our games growing up, and I always cite Oregon Trail as the first one. But when you look at Oregon Trail, and then all those Super Nintendo games like Sunset Riders, like Turtles in Time, you had to beat them in one shot. And most of the time you could not. And so we grew up, and when you died, you didn't just respawn eternally. You got 3 lives. Now when you play like Uncharted 4, it auto-saves. Pay attention. It auto-saves every 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So there's no motivation to actually take it seriously. You can run through just like Rambo, and if you die, it just puts you 30 seconds back.
Yeah.
So there's no consequences to actions. There's no anything. So kids these days don't have to actually think and strategize, and that's why they're all dumber.
Because video games.
Yeah. Because our video
fair.
games taught us like strategy and trying to plan things out and rationing our lives. And if we die,
And
I
don't
have to
forget
start
to
this
save your
whole
game.
thing over again.
Yeah.
But if I die as Nathan Drake, I might as well be invincible or
Yeah.
Laura Croft because there's no detriment to dying. I lost 30 seconds. Oregon Trail, you lost 30 minutes. There's a huge difference, and that's why these kids have no attention span whatsoever. They don't need one.
I can't I'm surprised Fortnite was so popular because there's really not that much action in Fortnite, and you're just there's very little reward.
Yeah, but it's quick. That's I think that with what they have in terms of a attention span, I go into Fortnite, I go and I'm gonna try my best. I die, I'm right back at another one.
Yeah, you don't even go back to the main menu.
How long does a game? I've never played Fortnite because I refuse to get
It's actually a fun game.
dominated by a 13-year-old. But
yeah.
how long do they last
If you go
on
play,
average?
if you're good at first-person shooters, you'll fuck people up. Dude.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's the building.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the hard part for sure. When somebody
That
just
doesn't
builds
happen till
straight
the
up.
last 10 though. You really don't have to worry about that till you're the
That's
final
true.
10.
But what is
and
it,
then
like
it gets crazy.
15-minute game, 20-minute
Probably.
game? Is
Yeah.
that right?
If you play
Like
the whole, if you
Warzone.
play to the whole thing,
Okay.
yeah.
So it's just it looks weird. Is all.
Yeah, you have to get used to that. But aiming and everything seems so much easier in Fortnite.
Hitboxes are bigger too.
That's probably what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Characters are bigger. Hitboxes are bigger.
it's
So.
a little more cartoony.
Less damage multipliers as well. So they're more consistent. Whereas you get shot in the shoulder in Call of Duty, it's 1.8% damage if they didn't have this fucking tape on their grip. Some of those really upset me. Those
Yeah.
oh yeah, I'm gonna stipple my goddamn grip and it's gonna make me go faster. Okay,
How that works?
suck my dick, bro. It makes me so mad because I as much as I hate on those tactical videos, I watch all of them. I love. If you're a ninja with what you use, I think it's fucking cool. And so when they have stupid oh, this is just medical tape around here and now you can hold it harder, it makes me so mad.
You don't think there's any
any
validity to that? It's like in baseball when you have a
pine tar?
wooden bat. Yeah, if you just have a wooden bat, it's gonna be hard to
No,
hold. If you
I'm
use pine
fine
tar,
with personal preference, and you can do that with, you can make that per character. When he puts it on, he does it because it hits his groove better, and it's for his personal preference. But when across the board, you're telling me if I wrap fucking gauze around my 1911, then I'm gonna be able to cap fools like John Wick because it makes me hold it harder. That doesn't. It upsets me. And it's the rest of the game looks great. You did your research and you let the interns do your fucking perks.
yeah, but
do your job.
You need something to to add on to the guns. Just change. You need a mechanic.
But there are those things. That's the problem. There's plenty of different grips and ways that you can mount things to allow those things to happen.
Is there 5 of them?
Yeah.
Oh.
You can
7 of them.
you can drill holes into the frame to make it lighter. You can chop.
Maybe
your
they
stock
did
off.
that
You can-
too. They did the. You just can't see the holes, bro.
Then what's the point? Show me the holes.
Aesthetics and mechanics, bro.
Not there though. It needs to be perfect. You don't get any play there from me. I'm sorry.
They just try to squeeze as much extra stuff into a game as possible.
Give me scopes and stuff. Again, there are
They have
options
scopes,
too. There's 3,000 different stocks. There's don't tell me if I
Well, they
take
can't
chopsticks
do
together and I put
every
it at the end of my
single
barrel,
one.
it's a silencer. It just makes me mad.
I think that would work actually.
With those metal chopsticks, maybe.
Oh, yeah. Resonates off. It's like a tuning fork. It takes the sound away.
You think you can really use a potato as a silencer?
Who said you could?
I don't know. That seems like something. Yeah. There's an oil can
I think
silencer on one of the games. What game is it? Days
All of
Gone,
'em.
maybe?
all the games have that.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Is there an oil
There's
can?
one in
Oh,
the
there is
fucking-
one in Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Fucking stupid. It's now dumb.
It's not a MacGyver. You can't. You're not like a MacGyver fan.
I was, and I think that's the problem.
It's not good enough for you. You're like, this doesn't make sense. But MacGyver did.
It was fantastic.
Sure.
See, all that stuff is stupid and dumb until you try to go write your own show or create your own video game, and then you're like, okay, what is even feasible that I could have to boost their weapons or boost their stats or whatever? And then you get down to this list of things that you're just like, I hate to do this, but I have to because there's nothing else I can add. And my game that Will's playing is a perfect example of dumb shit.
Yeah.
I don't even remember some of the stuff that's in there that you could probably go off on, but
Tears of John Bonner.
oh yeah, that's such an old reference. If you remember him crying,
I don't,
Yeah.
but it sounds like a good tool to have.
no, but it's like, what does the hair balm do? So Trump is obviously the main character. I think hair balm gives him more life.
It's something
Is that
like
right?
that. Yeah. Hairball. There was I think I got like some kind of presidential cologne or some kind of bullshit like that.
I don't remember.
It was, but I hacked his game, bro. I made all my characters level 99 somehow. I just walked the right way and was like, you leveled up to 99. I was like, what the fuck? It was crazy.
I always wondered how like they find those. Like in Pokemon, you could, if you went to a certain city, you talked to a guy and you initiated a dialogue and you said no, and then you had an item in the 6th spot and you flew to Cinnabon Island. You went up and down, then you got the missing no, like those glitches. Like
It's a series of switches that hit. So the game is constantly checking. So when you put things in, so let's say I'm going to put a lever here, and if I go up and interact with the lever, that question of did they interact with the lever now becomes yes, right? So you put a switch in that says if yes, then this happens. And so there's a gate over here that if yes, this gate opens. So boom, hit the lever. Now it's yes, this gate opens. So you walk through and then there's something else that says, okay, if yes, now this happens. And so throughout the game, there's just a bunch of different things. So you go up and talk to someone. You know, if yes, boom, it goes to a second page of dialogue that then triggers something else. So the game is just frequently checking switches that have been turned on or have not been turned on. So like creating that game,
people learn to manipulate those, and I think that's where like source code comes into play, where like nerds fucking just scour source code.
My game is made on a very basic engine where you didn't really have to code anything. Everything's already in there. You just kind of plug in the things and the switches that you want. But yeah, I don't actually get into detailed coding.
Yeah, and like that if then statement is like the first thing you learn in computer programming.
Right.
Yeah.
so it's not a numbers thing where like somebody like the fucking 1,000 monkeys or whatever, somebody hit it the right way. It's that
Not
some nerd was
likely.
probably like, I wonder.
It was probably a little of both.
But it makes games easier to play when you start making them, because like when I played Final Fantasy VII, it used to get really annoying walking around triggering battles. And you're just like, fuck, how come I can't avoid these? And then you get in and learn that battle encounters in RPGs are just average steps. It's not where you hit. It's how long you've been walking. That's it. So like in our game,
Like in Pokemon where you're like, avoid the heavy grass. Doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter at all.
You're just upping your steps.
All you're doing is you can put bigger enemies in that area when you just go to the map, the enemy map. Every enemy in my game has a different number attached to them. So I can go to a grassy field and just say, all these squares are number 1. It's going to spawn enemy number 1. Go to this number 2. But
It's
made
like
it
a game
easier.
of Minesweeper.
Yeah, that's it. That's literally what it looks like.
Yeah.
But like, as you're walking through, it's less annoying when I go back and play Final Fantasy VII because I know there's nothing I can do to not trigger the fight.
Right.
It's just going to happen. And that like gets rid of the expectation that you can do something about it and just makes it less annoying.
What a great metaphor for life.
That insight, yeah.
Right? Yeah, it's just like it's all just a law of averages anyways, right? Which is what we live.
Really is.
So stop
That-
counting your steps.
Makes my life
Just
sad.
enjoy it. Let's throw your Fitbit away is the message, I guess.
No,
You're
bro.
woke.
Eat your meat
bro.
lovers pizza.
I have different colors for this bitch, and God damn it! No, I'm never throwing this. I can't believe you guys are talking about like cutting off things with the EMTs. I read some dude had his Whoop cut off, and then he messaged Whoop, and in like 12 hours they gave him another strap.
I believe that.
That's fucking dope. That's great customer service. So no, I'm not getting rid of this thing, even if it locks me into the simulation. I don't care. I need to know that every day I sleep like shit, and every morning I wake up like shit.
Yeah.
I need to know that.
That's universal.
That's good to know. I feel like it's just me.
We're just bouncing. Hey, my life sucks right now, Brian? He's like, yeah, it's supposed to be. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like that.
I can
Like
stop.
you're 29, dude. Like,
I keep forgetting.
how good did you expect things to be at this point in your life?
I don't know.
To be honest, way better. If
Yeah.
I'm being completely honest, thought I was going to be like a CEO, but that's not the point.
Of what?
I don't know.
Of what?
I was
No.
gonna
know.
say you could technically be a CEO tomorrow of just a company you founded that has no income, no employees.
Yeah, but like a real,
no...
like a good one, like
Yeah.
a rich one, a successful one that lives in a house like you, dude. If I was like graduating high school, and you were like, what do you expect when you're like 29, 30? I'm like, oh, dude, probably making 6 figures, like living in a house, probably have a family and a dog. This was before stand up, you know.
Mhm.
And then over the course of time, you cross those all off your
Yeah.
list. You got dog. You
Oh.
got all you got left.
It's like a completely different list. It's-
See, I don't think people that like I don't think my feelings towards my own life are even that different than yours. Because I think you go house shopping for houses you can't afford all the time.
no,
You don't look at houses.
no.
Oh. Do you, George?
I have.
I know I can't afford them.
I mean, well,
Are
okay.
you trying to talk me into like the law of attraction?
No, like I'll look at houses all the time that I have no business looking at that I'll never be able to afford. I'm just like, God, I wish I could have this house.
See, but this is.
But then you guys look at people with houses, and you're like, God, I wish I could have that house.
I wish I
And
could
what
have.
I'm saying is the person inside that house is looking at a different house, wishing they could have a different house. So you're never happy at any income level.
God damn it, Brian!
I'm here to just bring you guys
I
down.
just want a house.
Yeah, but see, you overprice, like you overshop houses, and this is like a level difference because I will overshop televisions.
Mm,
I'm like, that's $1,600. That's crazy.
yeah.
That's bananas. I'm sticking with my 41-inch.
Okay,
TV.
I guess I'm like that with
Gamer
like
PCs?
D&D stuff.
Yeah, okay.
Like Dwarven Forge. You've probably never heard
There's
of it.
probably
but-
like a $180 set of die that you want.
Oh yeah,
that you're
for
like,
sure.
He's like
who
three.
would spend the money
I have
on this?
3 of those.
And
Yeah,
there's some guy with it looking at a $300 set that's just like, oh,
Dude.
I hate these dice.
dude, mammoth tusk dice.
That's a thing.
That's a thing, bro.
That's because they can't sell ivory.
It's like $300. Yeah, they just don't want to call it ivory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Buy it.
I wish I
You
could.
have to like buy it one at a time.
Yeah. In installments.
Dude, do they have that? Like you get a random set of die, like, and then
Every month, like
Yeah.
a box. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's dope.
RPG mystery dice, bro.
Ooh. This episode brought to you by RPG Mystery. You got to talk it into existence, right?
I guess so, man.
If you could get, would you rather have figures or like die sent to you?
I would rather get like terrain pieces
You're such a nerd, bro.
so I can make shit look really cool. I don't know, man. Critical Role changed my life in terms of terrain. Like, it's just above and beyond. Because I just draw shit on a fucking on a board.
Hmm.
They have like full on mountains and shit. It's crazy. Boats.
On a boat. Money's no object. Well, and you could buy it today. What would you buy?
No debt.
I just want to
be
free,
Yeah, I just don't want to be in debt anymore.
No, you have to. It's a.
That's
This
a
is your
material item.
a waste of money.
I'd get a new computer.
You're so boring, bro. You don't want to buy like a space shuttle?
Oh,
Or like a
I mean, What would
satellite.
you get?
I was gonna say I don't even have an answer to
Satellite.
that because like I'm the person that if I want something I buy it, and my wife's the same way. So like shopping for each other for Christmas or birthdays
So
is a
hard, huh?
nightmare.
Yeah.
Because if I want it, we literally have it.
It's an Ariana Grande song. I want it. I got it. That's
So I mean, I guess maybe like a super fancy SUV I would buy
Oh yeah.
because mine has 170,000 miles on it.
define super fancy though. We talking like can participate in Twisted Metal super fancy?
Lamborghini, dude.
Like this
Yeah, I
thing's
saw
murdered
the,
out.
The
Bulletproof?
Lambo SUV. I would get that.
Dude, did you see they're releasing a an electric Lambo? It's a Countach. It's the older one. Oh, it looks
Really?
sick. Yeah.
That sounds
That
fun.
sounds scary.
And it just doesn't make any noise.
No, it's electric, dude. If Lamborghini's like we're gonna make something fast, that thing's definitely gonna go back in time for sure, 100%.
I wonder how many miles you're gonna get out of it though.
Probably 7, 8 or so. You know, it's just a race car at
a
that
time.
point.
You gotta,
Yeah.
like,
It's just made for the Autobahn, dude.
charge
Yeah.
it at the grocery store. You can't get home.
Yeah, it's probably because the sound system they put in it is so badass, so it still sounds like a fucking Lamborghini.
Right. Didn't like BMW do that with one of their cars?
Yeah, but they pumped it inside, which is dumb. If you do it outside, I'm for. Which is weird because I don't like motorcycles with radios. It's like that seems too much. Did you have a radio on your motorcycle? It seems counter. Like
you
I
were
feel like that's not
against
what you
these.
want. Yeah, and I don't know. I don't like radios. Like the Harleys that park outside of like Lake Alice, they all have a
Yeah.
radio. They all have different
Did
sounds.
you ever see
I'm
the
like,
South Park episode where they're
Yeah.
riding their Harleys?
Yes.
no, I didn't.
We can't really say what
Yeah.
happens in that episode, but go watch it. It's
Yeah.
it's just, the whole episode is basically highlighting like Harley riders are nothing but a bunch of babies that are like, pay attention to me.
Hmm.
That's why my bike is loud. That's why I have a radio on the outside. Look at me. Look how cool I am.
And also that words have more than one meaning to different people.
Yes.
That's basically what the
Yeah.
Oh, I like
episode
it.
is.
I like this premise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's basically like the Chris Rock bit about you can't say the word FAG, but like if he's sitting at a red light and it turns green and he's in front of you and he's just sitting there rocking out. You know what bit I'm talking about?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Then you can be like, hey, go. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
I guess I should watch South Park. I don't know.
Oh, dude. Have you never seen any of it?
I have, but I'm not as dedicated. Like comedy in general, I don't take in as much as I should,
Yeah, I'm
given
the
that
same
it's
way.
my profession.
I'm the same way.
But it's overstimulating at this point for me. I have to sit through so much. I'd rather not.
South
And
Park,
I spend my time in Animal Crossing.
when they started doing it like the 6 days to air style, where it was like very like up to date on references, and was like, dude, that happened like 3 days ago. Like, how do they have it on their fucking show? When it started doing that, it was like it's mind blowing how good it is. It's I can't even put it into words. It's very impressive.
Pressure makes diamonds, I guess.
And I feel like they do with their show what I try to do with my comedy, where you're like, okay, I hate this specific group of people or idea or tradition. How can I make everyone else see this through the same lens that I do? So at one point, Trey Parker and Matt Stone were in a car, and all these Harleys pulled up, and they're just like, God, these fucking...
Yeah.
And they're like, how can we make the world see them as we see them right now? And they wrote that episode, and it's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
See, and like I just think they have like one little like thing like that, and then it just like, and they go, okay, well, we know we can't really say the F word,
mhm.
but
What if we redefine it?
exactly,
Mhm.
dude,
Yeah, it's genius.
I don't necessarily recommend starting at the very beginning
No.
because they can be kind of hard to watch. They're not quite as relevant, but the newer ones for sure.
So realistically, I should just kind of watch whatever came out last week.
Probably. It would be
And
the,
then just kinda-
the best.
Work my way back almost to like the beginning of the year. And
Yeah, I
then-
mean like season 10.
There
what are
was
they on now?
one
Oh.
bad season. Do you remember? I don't remember which one it was. Like 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. One of those was horrendous and just like unwatchably bad. If you watch it,
Writer's strike?
I don't think so.
Hmm.
Start from season 1 and just
They
watch,
are the writers.
and it's gonna go like this. I mean,
it goes down into a fjord.
It's like
Fjord.
literally into the negatives, and then it just goes right back up. And I think they acknowledge, like, yeah, we're sorry that season sucked. Like, we weren't completely there for it.
Wow.
Maybe it was the season that they were also trying to write, like, the Book of Mormon on the side or something. I don't remember. But it suffered. But other than that one season, man, they just take whatever's happening. Oh, gosh, there's one where they're making fun of, like, the trans stuff, but they do it in such a way that you can't even be mad about it. Where I think it's like the Macho Man Randy Savage and all these guys
Is this recent?
yeah.
Okay, see,
they
I haven't
start
been catching up.
participating in female sports and just murdering
Oh my God.
everyone. And it's just like, I don't want to agree with any of this, but because that's like the whole big thing too, is like women are very happy to say, like, in sports, give us more chances to compete, we're equal. And then this happens, and they're like, whoa,
Right.
we are in no way, shape, or form equal.
Mhm.
They should be completely separate divisions. And you're like, well,
Mm-hmm.
let me rewind the tape.
Yeah.
So, and they point out,
stenographer, can
That-
you read back?
yeah, and that's their whole point. It's like,
Yeah.
pick a side. You're like, fuck.
Generalize. I mean, we were talking about that earlier about like how it's not ideal to do regional comedy because you can only do it there, and you should always work on generalizing it. And if you can generalize it enough to enough people, then you can make it a truly funny bit. And I think that's what South Park is doing. They're just like, look at this. Isn't this ridiculous? And
But
then,
they also do it with kids on purpose.
You can get away with so much more.
In the same way that, like if you watch that
That's
Bo
what Epstein
Burnham,
thought about.
the second song in his special, the way the world works, Bo the person is talking about the animal's role and how the world works. It's the sock puppet that says the horrendous things, and Bo knows it. And if you watch that video clip, every time the puppet says something horrendous,
Bo's like, whoa.
Bo
He's like reacting.
turns and smiles to the camera afterwards. Like, go back and watch it when he's like, the FBI killed Martin Luther King. He literally turns and is like, did you guys know that? I didn't say it. Sacco did. And so it's just like free reign. It's the same thing Jeff Dunham does by being racist with a puppet.
Yeah.
And you're like, how does he get away with racism? Oh, it's not him being racist. It's the
it's
puppet.
Jose on the stick.
Even though that's racist, Ahmed's racist. Like, all of them are racist.
Inherently.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's why his comedy's boomer comedy, because they love racism.
First comedian I went and saw.
Our school got a lot of big people to come for being a small school.
Central Michigan used to get a lot of big like music acts, but they were never like my thing. I know Nick Swartzen was supposed to go once, and then it got canceled for some reason. I was like, oh damn.
We also had the guy who played the guitar, Steven.
Right?
Yes. Is that his
Really?
name? Yeah.
Wait, no, is it?
Or Steven
Steve-
Miller?
Steve Wright is
Wright.
the
He's the Boston guy that was.
Hey, guys.
Yeah, he's more deadpan. I don't
Oh,
think
yeah.
that's-
Is that the guy? I spilled spot remover on my dog, and now he's gone.
yeah. Yeah. Shit, who's the guitar guy?
I don't know, but I know exactly who you're talking about.
He sings that. Is it the Special Olympics song? Now I'm going to look it up.
Yeah. Yes.
Does he sing "If I Were Gay"?
I don't know.
Do you know which one?
Have you ever listened to Rodney Carrington?
No.
I always used to see his albums in like FYE, and like, did you ever have FYE?
It was later, but it was Suncoast first.
Okay. And I would always be like, "Is this comedy? Does it do music?" I never listened to it. I never got. It was like country. I'm like, I'm not into that, but I'm curious. But I'm not that curious.
I'm gonna bring music into my acts.
Stephen Miller was the kid of the name of the kid I went to school with, though. You said that earlier.
Is he famous now?
Nope. Not that I'm aware of.
Is he Michigan famous? Like, is he
Probably not.
star quarterback?
No.
I don't know how small towns work. I don't know. Is there like small town celebrities in your town of 80
I
people?
mean, no, 'cause everybody knows everybody. I don't. It's not like. I don't know. Nobody like really makes it out. If you do and you make it big, you're not going back to help those fucking people. I've always said if I ever film a comedy special, I want to do it in my high school auditorium, and nobody from my hometown is allowed to go. It's just
That's awesome.
has to be other zip codes only. You know.
That would be dope.
How else you going to flex on them, though?
Exactly. That's it. That's all I have to do.
Keeping them out.
Yeah.
They can watch from outside.
You're not allowed.
You can't be in for the
I'll
taping.
screen it on the fucking like a projector on the side of the school. You can like drive in.
They make everyone watch it in the classroom.
But it's more expensive to do that than it is to actually go to the show. It's like $500.
Well, you also up your viewers if you don't let them in, and then that gets put on some kind of media. All the people, it's basically there's an episode of South Park.
Here we go.
Cartman wants his own theme park, right?
Yep. I was
I've
just
seen this
thinking.
one.
Oh,
So
Yeah,
he
I've
buys
seen
it
that
and
one,
then
yeah.
says you can't come, and then everyone wants to come because he said that.
Yeah.
If you do that, everyone will watch your special, and then like the first day, you're like, oh shit, I got 500 views out of nowhere. It's because everyone's like, let's see what you kept us out of, and then I'm
Yeah.
gonna leave a negative comment. Yeah, it's the old South Park episode.
Bring it on.
How do we keep people out? All right, I'm just gonna tell them you can't come to my shows. You can't. Ever.
I'll look at everyone.
Actually-
I'll do facial recognition on everybody that comes in, bro.
I've been telling people you can't go. They're like,
I'll
"Can we
take
come
all
see you?"
my
I'm like,
I'll take
"No."
all my yearbooks and be like, none of these people. I'll scan it into a fucking program. I said, none of these people can come.
Age them all
Age-
15
yep,
years
yep.
and say no.
Yep.
Oh, and you'll have the technology now to do that.
Probably.
So that's scary. Does that scare you guys about how like
No.
the app can just create evidence? Like, look, Will's stabbing this guy in the heart, and it looks believable now.
Oh, like deep fake stuff?
yeah,
Yeah,
that you
that's
can just
pretty
do it
crazy.
on your phone. Like,
That is crazy. Yeah.
I'm scared. Part of me is like, I don't want to put myself or like not just my material, but like my likeness anywhere because I feel like now I'm vulnerable. I could get caught with anything, and I'm sure there's plenty I'm gonna get caught with anyway. But like,
but
I don't need
you,
to add
you
to
would
that.
need more than one piece of evidence to like.
Right, but
like where's the murder weapon, bro? You know,
it dissolved because it was made out of carbon nanotubes, and then I put it in this acid, and it disintegrated.
Then you're good.
You clearly already weirdly thought this through. It's like, all right, just in case.
You're fine then.
Sounds like you're more leaning on the deep fake as your alibi rather than.
That's a good point. You're
like,
right.
No, that's clearly fake.
I do need. I do need more.
Have you heard of deep fakes, Judge?
Your Honor. Your Honor.
Like,
Take my fingerprints, bro.
Only mostly in celebrity porn, but.
Yeah. Dude, remember when you used to fucking find those pictures when it was like you would find like Hermione or whatever. What was her stupid name? Emma Watson, and she just had these like big old tits, and you're like, who's believing this? Like, this is clearly not real.
Mm-hmm.
Some fuck in the thumb of Michigan on dial-up, bro.
Who's sitting there on their computer making these, though?
Yeah.
Some fuck in the middle of the thumb of Michigan on his dial-up connection. It's the same guy. He's just two personalities. Just, well, this is crazy. Yeah.
But, like, that's pretty good Photoshop for, like, back then, you know.
On
like
MS Paint, yeah. It was very impressive. Fucking color matching without the dropper, that's magic. I don't know how people did that. That's the only way I can do it now. Have you done that? Me either. Never mind.
No. I don't know what you're talking about, dude.
Sometimes you have to move people's heads to another spot, and then it's like the blue's a different color, so you go to color match from there over there, and now you blend it together, and then it looks seamless.
Sure, dude.
I
believe you.
Practicing my alibi skills of this is fake, sir. This is
Well,
how.
I mean, you just hire someone to do it for you.
Also, you guys are the code guys. Apparently, everything has like a digital signature now, and they can be like, "Oh yeah, no, you photoshopped this 19 saves ago or some bull."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
That's crazy. I don't understand.
That is what should relieve you more than anything. Is like on the tech side of things, like switching jobs now, working in a different department with all the tech people who push all the tech stuff out to our entire school district, the things that they see on the backside that they can do, and they can go in and be like, I saw you, there's logs of you logging into everything from everywhere that exists. Every edit that's been made, everything that happens is basically saving every version of itself, and they can look it up and say like, oh yeah, this was created this day, this time.
Freaking me out, man.
There's so much stuff you don't even know that most people don't even know that if we knew, none of us would ever be able to sleep.
If I'm in like my private browser, does that really do anything?
No, not a thing.
I didn't think so.
Yeah, not at all.
Just doesn't save your browser history.
That's literally it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Worth it, you know.
There's no privacy, is what you're saying.
No,
I can't.
No.
A
But like,
VPN
we
does
know
a little
that.
bit of stuff.
Yeah.
But a VPN does what you think you're doing with your private browser.
Right. Okay.
And that's
I'm not paying $4.99 a month for that.
Because like, here's what gets me. When I used to live at my old house before I bought my house with a friend, we would download music legally. This was like 12 years ago when that was still a thing.
LimeWire.
I got a letter
Kazaa
from my internet company, Verizon, at the time, that said, if you do this one more time, we will turn this over to law enforcement. I had downloaded a couple songs. How come every time we catch someone with child pornography, there's 30,000 images on their computer that they've been able to transport? So you caught me after 3 songs. I'm not pointing at you.
But you are, and I'm not disagreeing.
How is he sending and receiving 30,000 images before you catch? So there is something you can do, probably. But ask a pedophile is, I guess, what I'm getting
But like, are those?
What is their VPN?
But like those,
what kind of private browser do they have?
Those songs are like copywritten, and like they're like it's probably like in an algorithm or whatever. Like,
they're starting to do that
serialized and shit. You know,
with
like
pictures of children.
Right.
Have you seen that?
No, I have not seen that.
They're starting to do that where the photo
the
itself,
ones that they find, or are they serializing one and then putting it out?
No, the ones
that's
that
honeypot, bro. Fuck you.
Shit,
it's
dude.
the ones that
Fuck
exist that are. I don't even know how to explain it. But even if you crop the photo, flip the photo, edit the photo, the system still can identify that picture. And so people are freaking out right now because Apple and Google are both about to allow the government to like start scanning our personal drives, like Google Drive and stuff, if you have photos in there,
Okay.
for these photos that match the child abuse photos that they know about.
God damn.
So if you have all that stuff hidden in your private, and so that becomes like the big privacy debate is like, do you have a right to privacy up to what point?
Right.
To where you can house 30,000 photos that you shouldn't have, or, you know, and that comes back to like the argument of like, well, if you're not breaking the law, you know, should it bother you? And then it's like, okay, well, but where does it stop? What's the next thing?
Right.
You know, that they can just, if there's something suspicious, now they can go in and look around. So
It's a slippery slope.
technology's crazy.
Yeah, man. I honestly have no answer for it either. I don't fucking know, dude. But it's not up to me. So.
Yeah.
If it takes them scanning my hard drive.
To get rid of child pornography, you're okay with it?
No, you can have child pornography. That's fine. If it takes them scanning my hard drive for me to be in like a Ready Player One kind of environment, I'm in.
Okay.
I'm totally for it. Like
If you
that's
have
what
to,
it
you have to
takes,
submit all your privacy.
yeah. If they're like, hey man, if you want to interact with this economy, which is the fucking shit because you can drive a Gundam and have a sword, just don't have any porn on your. It's like I'm in. That's fine.
Well,
Like-
no child porn. Let's be
No,
clear.
no, no. I'm streaming porn. I'm not gonna have it. I'm not.
I was gonna
stupid.
say,
Oh, yeah,
this
yeah.
isn't
I'm not
1997
stupid.
anymore.
Right,
Like,
right,
just
yeah.
go look up.
Go to
porn.
the cloud,
Yeah.
dude. Bro, put the good stuff there. Like that's why you have a safety deposit box. You don't leave it in your home.
Yeah.
Fucking
See,
stupid.
hard copies will be popular. You're gonna find people like
Polaroids again.
Yeah,
child.
those are gonna be
like
like NFTs, bro.
We're gonna have to censor half this episode. Like, we're talking about way too much about technology and pedophiles. And
I mean,
Are they
I'm
gonna
just
come
trying to
after
get
us?
traffic. Really, just
whatever it takes.
I just want someone to listen.
Maybe QAnon will listen to us.
No, we make too much sense sometimes,
Oh yeah.
and we're pro South Park, so
Right.
they're probably not.
Probably not.
Hmm.
They probably think they're pedophiles.
well, did you see the guy that just killed his 2 kids because he thought
It
his wife
makes me
had
so
serpent
mad.
people
With a
DNA and that
spear
he passed
gun.
Oh,
along.
I did hear about
He
this.
took
yeah.
them to Mexico and
That
like,
makes
how
me
is
mad.
QAnon not? The fact that they are still posting stuff just goes to show you there's some way to be anonymous on the internet.
There's some way, yeah.
Because otherwise,
I mean, do you think people would actually try to stop? Like, who? I mean, there could be like a whole investigation going on. Like, what was that documentary on Netflix? It was like, "Don't fuck with cats." Is that
Mhm.
what it was? Did you see it?
No.
Oh, dude, it's fucking great. It's
Yeah.
fucking great. Did you watch it?
I saw it. You know, I didn't enjoy it. It was
Oh,
good.
you have
but I was like,
problems.
yeah, you have problems,
Yeah.
bro.
I mean, yeah. Yeah.
But it is cool to have. I mean, you're outsourcing an investigation, you know, to 100,000 million people, and they're like, "Hey, man, look at all these breadcrumbs. We put this
Mhm.
together. It's
The internet will figure it out for you.
cool, but like, get a hobby, bro. Like, find something else. Go outside. It makes
those
me
things
so
are
mad.
so frustrating to people that have actually tried to lead groups, like being a former school administrator and leading a campus and trying to get a handful of teachers on the same page is extremely difficult. And then when you look at QAnon, thinking that there's this giant conspiracy across the country to fraudulently win this election and this mass coordinated effort, you're like, you've never led people,
Yeah.
because it's fucking impossible
Right.
to get a group of people to do what you want, when you want, to the quality that you want on a deadline.
Unless you're in the military.
Yes. And even then, you know.
Yeah.
I passed a car here. Dude had like 18 Vietnam veteran stickers on his car.
How many times did you go, bro?
I was like,
Maybe those are like sacks, and that's just how many he's killed. He's like, I got him,
all
bro.
It's probably all his
Got him.
friends that died.
teardrops.
Yeah, stickers on. You know, like how the ace pilots would mark it and shit. Maybe that's what he's doing. He's
Not
like, this is a
likely.
kill count, bro. Maybe he just support. I don't. Does
I think he just buys. I think there's probably like a veterans box, like monthly a subscription box. You know,
for people who've never been to
Jeez.
Vietnam.
There's a horrible PS4 Vietnam airstrike game that I bought.
airstrikes only. That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's just dropping napalm on
Yeah.
the whole country.
Agent Orange on them and stuff,
Yeah.
killing all their trees. Yeah, but it's so realistic that you can't win. It's just
Motherfucker.
Isn't it funny how Americans will be like, we never lost a war? It's like, I can name a couple.
I
actually.
find it even funnier that old people are like, what's up with all these participation trophies? And I'm like, you're wearing a Vietnam veteran hat.
You lived, bro. What is that?
But no, like, go up and ask them if they won.
Right. They'll say yeah.
But they didn't.
Yeah, we all know it.
But you're wearing the hat. Which I'm not saying don't wear the hat if you
Yeah.
didn't win, right? People wear Raiders hats. That's fine. But just don't rag on other people for their hats, you know? Or their second place ribbons.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. What's the problem, though? Do you think they're so disturbed with their own life that they just lash out at other people? Like, you can't just let other people be? Because I agree. Like, why should anyone else doing anything affect your life at all?
I think every generation doesn't like something that the generation after them is doing, especially when it's a couple generations.
I can't believe how true this has become in my life.
Yeah.
It's like music, video games. It's like, what the fuck are you retards doing?
Like, my parents can't figure out, so anytime I have a comedy show and I send them the link and I send them the flyer, my dad will say, just buy me the tickets, get them to me, and he will transfer me the money.
Yeah.
Right? And it's just like, how can you not just figure out the tech? Just click on the link. It saves it in your,
You
tickets or whatever.
buy stuff with your fingerprint.
Yes, literally. And then that happens. I'm like, how difficult is it to learn? And then TikTok comes out, and I get on it, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not learning this.
Yeah, that's how I felt too.
Fuck TikTok. This is
Yep.
stupid. I'm not doing this. And so that's it. And you're like, oh, that's when you're old. I
Yeah.
saw the best thing I saw regarding this was when you get to the point where a new style of pants comes out and it makes you mad, you're officially old. Where you're like, I'm not doing that. That's when you're old.
like girls' boyfriend pants.
Or yeah,
when
anything.
that became a thing, I was like, I hate this. I want to see your figure.
Yeah.
Like, why is it so loose?
Are they
all of
called
a sudden?
boyfriend pants?
Yeah.
Didn't
like
know that.
baggier pants.
Yeah.
Huh.
But like the moment you see something and you refuse to
Accept it.
accept it, you're old. So, and I see that like working at a school, I saw that all the time. Where you're just like,
What if it's just
Fidget spinners. Like, I
Fuck you.
refuse. I refuse.
fuck you? What if it's just an entire generation that you won't accept? Are you old or you just don't like change?
What's the generation you're not accepting?
Just kids in general. This new generation of children who are somehow adults and assholes, but still like 9.
I think a lot of it's jealousy from our generation. Like, I think we look at these generations and you're like, God, I wish.
I could grow up with Fortnite.
No, more so like the kids that are like fashion wise right now is so mixed and everyone does something so completely different and unique that you're like, I wish I grew up at a time where I could do that. But like if I wore something that was iffy, I would have been bullied about it.
Right.
And these kids bully each other a lot less, in person at least. Online, obviously more. I deal with online bullying all the time, but like
You do? Personally.
I did
You did. Right.
as a principal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does that come back on you?
Yeah, because one,
I agree.
one student sends another student a death threat. Technically, it happens on their school. If it happened on their school iPad, like I can
Right.
check it and then see, like, oh yeah, this kid actually did send pictures of dead bodies to this person and said, if you say one thing about this, this is going to be you.
God damn.
What a dummy.
dude.
Yeah. So, trivia question for you guys: how many months after that incident was this kid on trial for attempted murder? Go.
I'm going to say 16 months.
Fucking exactly 16 months.
Woo!
Good for you.
For the record, I was gonna say 16 too. So I'm glad we were both correct.
Not a year and a half. So, yeah, he's in jail for taking a baseball bat to someone's face.
Was it that kid that he texted?
At the beach?
It's
No.
like, you motherfucker, you snitched on me.
Yeah.
Completely
Yeah.
different. kid.
At the beach?
Yeah.
Wow.
God damn.
I
Was
don't-
this after he graduated or what?
Yeah.
And they're like, what's the
16
bat
months
for?
after
Wiffle ball.
graduation.
Fuck.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean, free room and board, I guess. Whatever. If you
Yeah.
can't make it into college, you still get into a dorm.
Well, the good news is, too, he got to spend a lot more time with his dad, who was also there.
That's- That explains
So many
a
things
lot.
make sense in this story.
Yeah, this is all adding up.
At first, it was baseball bat at the beach. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Now, I get it.
It's like, oh, this is just a Grand Theft Auto game.
There's got to be plenty of dumb kids, though, that just no one's ever going to see this on their school.
Mhm.
You're like, why are you?
So, oh yeah, that happens all the time. I tell the kids, everything you do on this device filters through our school, which means when you go to special
you probably
websites,
have to tell them that, right? Like when you first get it,
Yeah.
hey, just so you know, we fucking know exactly what
And
you're
so if
doing.
you go to a certain website that's flagged as adult, the system recognizes it and sends me an email.
Do you block the video game websites, you piece of shit? I fucking
I
hated
don't,
that.
but tech does. Like you can't get like they block Discord because those are used for so
makes
much.
Sense.
That's fair.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
You can't let kids.
I
on
understand
Discord.
that, but like, dude, I want to go to like IGN.
Yeah, they block everything.
Oh, that's so annoying, dude. It's news.
I know.
Anyway,
It is
go
what
ahead.
it is.
Sorry.
What was I saying before you interrupted me?
Filtering and how you have to let
Oh
them
yeah,
know.
so I'll
that-
get an email with just a long list of all the websites with a timestamp. Yeah, so I've had to physically call like this grandma in, and I'm like, your grandson was Googling at 2:37 a.m. He started with spicy Latina MILF, and then just went down the rabbit hole until 3:16 when he shut it off and went to bed. There was one kid who was saving.
So you're also like, hey, your kid's not going to sleep. Dude.
Yeah, he was saving porn in his school email.
Oh my god.
Wow.
And I had to call that mom in, and I'm just like showing her his emails that he's sent to himself of these chicks with huge asses, and the mom was just like, "Oh Jesus!" Like she was losing her mind.
I bet, dude.
Just like it's his school email, dude. Create Google emails are free.
Right?
Create a Yahoo email. Pretend it's 1997.
Yeah.
Dude, what kind of external hard drive do you need to accept all these notifications from these adult kids?
Christ. So, were you like reading what they put in out loud, or were you just like, "Hey, here's the list.
No,
I don't want to."
physically am saying this.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
What a weird parent-teacher conference.
Yeah.
Mine were so much simpler. George doesn't do his work. George doesn't shut the fuck up in class.
That was me. Brian will not shut the fuck up. And my parents were like, well, Brian's grades are decent and he's a GATE student, so we're going to leave Brian alone for the most part.
Not me. That was not me. So
Yeah, I was good in school.
my teacher
Right.
didn't get it. Like I didn't shut the fuck up, and she thought I was trying to like cause a scene. She's like, "Why do you say these things?" And I was just like, "I thought it was funny."
Right. And so I was kind of the exact same way, and to the point where my dad got so tired of hearing from my Spanish 2 teacher that by like the 5th phone call of her saying like, Brian was making fun of me in class, when really like she would walk by and I sat next to my best friend in the school at the time,
Right.
and so we would laugh, and then she, being a child, thought we were laughing at her and making fun of her, so she would call my dad and be like, Brian was laughing at me, and then my dad was like, do you have kids? And she's like, no. And he's like, let me do you a favor. Don't ever fucking have them because you can't seem to deal with them.
Yeah, it's like kids laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I noticed too working with the kids. Like a lot of times if they're like having fun laughing, parents are like, hey, calm it down. It's
Yeah.
like, dude, they're having a good time.
That's the thing with teachers too, is like when you let kids work independently, you can't equate the volume in the class to a lack of productivity.
Right.
They can be loud and enjoying themselves and also getting their work done.
And getting an education. It's
So,
probably the better way.
I never had a problem with kids talking or being loud or stuff. It's just if you can control them and get them back to where you want when you need to, let them work.
As long as they're on
Shit.
task.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
Most people can't.
Most people shouldn't have kids.
Yeah.
Why do you both look at me when he said that? I agree. I just I shouldn't have a child, but fuck, dude.
You're the only other person here.
I would definitely try to cultivate my kid into what I want it to be, though. I would be like a
It's 100% parenting. You ever seen a noisy little Asian kid?
sometimes
No, you fucking have
rarely.
not. I've been to
Rarely.
China and I haven't seen one.
That's because you have to hide them.
Not one loud one in the bunch.
They know
They
can,
know.
They know they can be replaced.
They know there's
Especially the
another
girls.
one.
Yeah, you know, you especially never seen a loud girl. Firstborn sons get a little cocky around age 7 when they figure it out. But
Dude, I'm going to Disneyland in Hong Kong. I bet it's quiet as fuck.
You been to
Great.
China? You been to China?
2 weeks in China.
What the fuck did you do there?
It was
I think Brian's a secret agent.
It was,
you did probably.
so I came this close to being Secret Service, going out for an interview. But
You
no,
look like Secret Service.
I know. Yeah, but no, my mom wanted to go. It was a group of teachers. My mom's a admin assistant at a middle school that I went to.
Okay.
And so a bunch of teachers are taking this teacher tour through China. And my mom wanted to go, and my dad's like, I'm not going. Like, what if I have a heart attack or I have to go to the hospital and I can't, people can't understand what I'm saying and I die? That was
I'm not going to a hospital in China, god damn it.
Yeah. Well, thank you for doing what I was not going to do. But basically that happened. And my dad's like, Brian likes to travel. I'll just pay for his ticket. Hey, make sure your mom doesn't die. Cool. So
Make sure your mom doesn't got to go to them goddamn hospitals either.
yeah, 2 weeks in China. Not
How
like
old were you?
23.
Oh, that's perfect.
It was the year I graduated
Oh,
college.
that's perfect. What a
Yeah.
great time to go.
Well, except it was the brokest I've ever been.
Yeah,
so I
but
don't
you
really
didn't
have a lot of
pay
money.
for it.
But yeah, my dad gave me like $500 to go.
Dude,
Which
you
is
could have
like a
bought the
Wait.
Great Wall.
Okay.
Holy shit.
Yeah, because the conversion rate at the time was 7.5 to 1. So you cash in $100,
Oh my God.
they
Damn.
give you 750, but everything costs. So like if I go to McDonald's there, it's like $2.
Wow.
So do the
What
math,
is the
it's pennies.
currency there?
Yuan? It's called
I'm in.
It's not yen,
Wait.
it's yuan.
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 And now, American
Or at
dollars.
least it was in 08.
Yeah,
So, but yeah, it's just.
that's
There's a
crazy.
because there's just so many people and environmentally friendly stuff. The kids don't have diapers, the toddlers,
Sorry?
so they walk around in like little onesies that literally have just it's like splits down, like they split their pants, and they train the kids. And I only know this because I watched it several times and almost stepped in it in a grocery store. The kids just stop and poop. They just literally squat. They
like
pop a
puppies.
squat, and when they squat, the little hole that's in their jumpsuit
Right.
basically is open. And they just take a dump on the floor, and mom comes by and wipes it up.
Oh, so they actually clean it up.
Yeah, they do clean it up. But there's not,
'Cause
because otherwise there'd be
I-
like billions of diapers.
Well, yeah, but I've heard like in China, like just shitting like anywhere is like that's acceptable in a lot of places. Not like in the cities.
Oh, that
but,
sounds like a
like
dream for me, bro.
just shitting. in a
'Cause when I
toilet.
have to
the
shit-
bathrooms didn't even have. Only our hotels had Western toilets.
Wow.
Everywhere
they
else it was
knew
the
that-
ground,
they
like the
knew,
hole in the
yeah,
ground in the
yeah.
bathroom.
Did you do that?
Hell no, I didn't. Your body knows. So when you go, the moment you step out of the hotel, your body's like, all right, close the butthole, and it's closed. However, like just they're all holding it tight the whole day, right? You're
Yeah.
eating authentic Chinese food, and they're just like, oh my god, I don't know how much longer we go. The moment you step foot into that hotel, and your brain knows a Western toilet is 30 seconds away, you have about 30 seconds to get to it.
Nice.
Wow.
There isn't even running water. It's just pressure. Just,
Yeah,
oh, it's on the bottom now. We're
That's
good.
Amazing.
your body's insane.
That's
It knows.
that's incredible.
It
Yeah.
does know.
Yeah.
So
No, I've shit in like a parking lot before. Like times get hard for me.
Well, I mean, if you get like a bug or if you are lactose intolerant, then yeah.
Yeah, no, but the ability, the option
Are
to
you
just be
lactose
able to
intolerant?
I am. Yeah.
why did I bring pizza?
I don't give a fuck,
Dude,
dude.
he's got a great story about shitting behind a
Yeah.
7-Eleven.
Yeah.
So you're just basically like living Jim Jeffries' life. where you're
Kind
just
of.
like,
yeah,
who
I'm
cares?
just hoping my body decides, you know, maybe we should make lactase and then kind of power through it. And so far,
Has it been your whole life?
no, I would say at 17, 18ish.
Yeah. Yeah, your body starts to reject dairy at some point. It's
Yeah.
like, we don't need this anymore, bro.
But girls want to go have coffee and, you know, whatever. Or that's what I'm doing. Then I'm
Mm.
going to shit behind a 7-Eleven if I have
You
to.
do cream in your coffee.
Oh, I take more Imodium than you guys probably take hits off. Your
I found
like I'm smoking Imodium at home, and just clogging myself up.
Just fucking rails
Just like
down his fucking table. It's like, no wonder you have a glass top in your kitchen, bro.
take out my credit card and just cut it up.
Yeah.
Just like, you guys gonna hit this? I ate at that all-you-can-eat Indian buffet earlier.
Yeah, yo, I'd be fiending behind Brian. I'm like, yep. Peter, come here. Are we going to the bathroom right now? Real quick. Come on, bro.
No, I have really bad stomach issues too. So like leading up to a comedy show, I have to take I'll take 2 Imodiums at lunch to just like solidify anything that's in there, and then take another one like an hour before the show, just so I'm not literally on the toilet for.
I just have nervous bowels, I think, in general. Like, I know that I don't have warrior bloodline because I like any little bit of stress. I'm like, I gotta go take a shit. Fuck, dude. This makes me nervous. Like dentist appointments, doctor's appointments. I'm always like in the bathroom right before, and it's never pleasant.
Yeah.
It's like I didn't even eat any. Where is this coming from?
Right.
Am I literally shitting my guts out?
That's interesting.
I hate my
I've never
life,
been
bro.
like that. I always just like, I don't know, I just take the anxiety and then, I don't know, I've always been really good at like.
Okay, you have a good dad. We get it. We get it.
Just using it. It's fuel, bro. Fucking fuel.
Tackling fuel.
Yeah.
Tackling fuel.
Yeah.
Mr. Coach Klein said I could. I had a second question. I forgot. I totally spaced
my
past
God.
it. Multiplayer games, when like online and stuff. Like, what was your first community that you kind of connected to, even if it was for a little bit, where you're like, oh wow, this is not my normal video game experience. Like, this is definitely something more.
That's tough. I remember getting a Dreamcast and having it have the Ethernet port, and then reading like, oh, you can hook it up to the internet and possibly play with other people. And I'm like, who's
what?
gonna ever do that?
Yeah.
That's so much work. And now it's like getting on and just bullying 12-year-olds is my daily
And
thing, right?
and now, like, if a game doesn't have multiplayer, you're like, do I want to get this? Like,
Yeah.
is the single player good enough?
This better be a $40 game.
Yeah.
Like, was there even like an online experience? Like, I don't know, fucking Neopets or something. Like, I played Neopets. Fuck you. Don't
Dude,
look
you
at me
played
like
the
that, dude.
weirdest games.
Neopets,
man.
Maple Story. I played a lot of Maple Story as well.
I don't know what that is.
Honestly, playing probably Army of Two with my buddy who, on the bomb squad, got involved in like a accident on the bomb range and had to stay home, and then became medically retired. And so it just became like me playing games with him online to help him just pass the time and take his mind off the initial accident. So we beat all of the Army of Two games. I don't know if you guys have played those
They're
games.
dope.
Yeah, super fun.
Super.
Yeah.
They need to start
Very good.
remaking those.
Yep.
That was
That,
probably
like,
the first time.
Cover like Gears of War style.
Yeah, and you
It's
can
so
like
fun, man.
take aggro and yeah.
Yeah, I
yeah.
forgot about
Such
that.
a good game. You can even go up and high five and like play your
Yeah.
air guitar and shit. It's such a dumb game. But just realizing like, oh, and then now it's nothing but I play Dead by Daylight every single day, which is a 4-player survivor, 1 killer trying to kill the 4. And some of my best friends in the world, I've never even met outside of up until when I went to do the comedy shows in Idaho a couple weeks ago. One of the guys I've been playing DVD with for like 2 years drove 16 hours from
Jesus
Canada to come to my
Nice.
shows, and that was the first time we actually met in person.
That's crazy.
So
But what was it like meeting them? Was it
it was
weird?
normal because it's like we talked to each other every single day for an hour
Yeah.
or two. We just hadn't really seen face to face.
Yeah.
So after like it's weird for like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, oh yeah, we're still just people that know everything about each other.
Right. Right.
So
Did you? I guess that's dumb. I was like, did you know what you looked like? But I mean, everyone knows like what you look like on the internet now, if it's up there.
yeah, I think we had sent pictures and stuff that like memes and things like that.
Yeah.
Each other
That's cute.
that we made.
I remember because like when I was playing Delta Force 2, like our clan, like I didn't know what anybody looked like because we didn't have
Social media, yeah.
Like it was just this
Forums and
yeah,
shit.
yeah. This is
Yeah.
your sig, bro. Here's your sig.
Yeah.
That's your. What else do you want on your sig, bro? Like that I didn't know. And then I think I like whatever. It might have been MSN back then before Skype, but there was the only one with video chat because AIM didn't have it. I think I videoed someone and I was like, dude, you look like a creep. Like this is. I'm not okay with this. Like I gotta
Yeah.
go. I'm 10. Like.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's
I
like
think I'd probably play like Call of Duty online, but you're not like, it's like, a 5 to 7 minute game. Like you're not like really connecting with people. Even in Call of Duty these days, playing Warzone, it's like, all right, you might meet someone that you like kind of vibe with, but after a while, it's like, you don't feel the need to play with them anymore.
Yeah. There's no real teamwork necessary either.
Right.
Not like WoW.
Yeah. And so like once you find like your guild or like your community, whatever, then it's like, okay, now I'm familiar with these people. I know like what their mannerisms are, so to speak, online. How good or bad they are at the game. and you can go
If
from
they're
there.
bad, you don't play with them.
Yeah. And like I ended up like getting in a guild with people who grew up in a town like 2 towns over from me in
Mhm.
Michigan, or living in like North Carolina now, and like I don't know, just weird, just random people you meet.
It's because it's a simulation, bro.
It is a
And
simulation.
everything lines up. And when I was my first day at my new job, at my first job when I moved to California, the second person I interacted with graduated from my high school. I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then 11 years later, I'm at Brian Matthews' house, and I
Yeah.
met someone else who graduated from my high school.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm this is all fake. Nothing is real.
Are there other high schools? That's what I'm starting to wonder.
No, it's like, you ever played SimCity?
Yeah.
You just go in and click the disaster you want to simulate.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like whoever's playing this one is fucking over it, and they're like, all right, fucking COVID. And then that got rid of a lot of people, but not enough. And they're like, okay, Delta variant.
I was literally saying this on the last episode.
See, not real. This is not real, guys.
Yeah, that's like you play it for so long, and then your mom's like, all right, dinner's ready. And you're like, all right, fire. Fucking Godzilla was in that game for some reason.
Just go AFK.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. And you're
Just
like,
let them exist.
First, what you have to do is you have to get rid of your fire departments. I figured that out. Because there was one day when my mom was like, just let your brother destroy the city. And I was like, okay. So I put like 19 fire departments in the city. And I was like, go for it. And he kept trying to do the natural disasters, but the fires would be put out in like 10 seconds. He's like, it won't burn. How come it won't burn? I'm like, I don't know, man. You're bad at natural disasters.
Or you're great at city planning.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's a calling for you. If all else fails, I can save California.
Yeah.
You can stop tornadoes with the fire department, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. Because, they just go, they destroy the building, and the building catches on fire, and they just put it out real quick.
Nice.
It's all cyclical.
It's all fake.
Figured it out, man.
Fucking hacked SimCity, dude. Congratulations.
You were born to think of life in code, I guess. That's just how you do it.
It's not fun.
No? It seems productive.
Yeah,
You probably are the most productive person I know.
that's probably true.
If Aaron could get like his get it in line, he would probably take over.
I feel like
but
where Aaron and I are the same is just like we're probably also doing 10 different things at once, right? But I'm actually, for the most part, organized and really doing them.
Mhm.
And I feel like he's just probably trying to do too much at once.
Yeah. Do you set time
Stay
aside
present, bro.
and
Mm-hmm.
set time aside for do you plan ahead and be like, okay, after work today I'm going to take an hour and I'm going to work on this?
So at my other job during lunch, I would just take that hour to have food delivered so I could sit there and write for my hour on lunch. And then I have a reminder in my phone every night at 10 o'clock that's like, hey, write a bit.
Hmm.
And so I have
Always something new or rewrite something or
both. So I have
Okay.
a spreadsheet for what I would determine is right now. If I had to film my
when someone
hour
says I have a spreadsheet,
tomorrow.
Way to make it not fun, Brian Matthews.
Jesus
Spreadsheets are
Christ.
super fun. So if I had to
love
film my hour
spreadsheets.
tomorrow, I have my
Fucking nerds.
spreadsheet of what my hour would look like, and then there's a column for okay, has this bit done well? Yes. Have you rewritten it? Yes. Have you added tags to it? Yes. Have all the tags worked? Yes. And so
Do you have a template?
yeah, I can give it to you.
You should make trading cards for your bits. And then graphics, and then a stat points, like an attack and a defense, and
Get someone to draw an offensive picture for you. On the
yeah,
front.
yeah,
But
that would be dope.
basically able to look at it and see okay. And so when I go through my phone, I have multiple folders too, where it's bits that need to be written out onto paper, a folder for tags that need to be added to bits, and then typed. Once they get written into the journal, then they get typed. Once I do them at a mic and they work, then I will type them into a document that I have titled Anthology. That's everything I have. Where there's 2.5 hours of material that
Works.
has worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works is the key word. And so I probably have another hour in my phone to work out and get out onto paper and screen.
In 10 years, I want you to print out that anthology text document, but in those old school
So when I print it right now, it's literally
You do print it? Why?
just to write on it
You
and go
put
through
it
and
in a fucking...
so
I fucking hate you.
'Cause he's
so
a teacher.
I genuinely hate you
he
so
can
much. right now.
proofread
So
on the paper.
I have about 6 backpacks. I love backpacks as a thing, but I have a
What the fuck?
I have a comedy travel backpack that just has all my stuff. So when they're like, "Hey, you want to feature in El Paso?" Everything's in that backpack. My
You have a
stickers, my
comedy go
merch,
bag?
all that stuff. Yeah,
Glock?
basically.
Oh my god.
And so in that is my printed anthology. So that
I'm going to
when
be so depressed after this episode, I want you to know.
See, what's funny is I tell all these people this. I'm like, "Hey, come over to my house. Let's work on your stuff." And they bring me their stuff, and it's a half-assed journal.
Oh, dude, that's probably
nothing.
more than me.
And I'm just we're all getting the results
You're so
that
mean
we
to us, dude.
prepared to get. Like, no, like people make fun of me for being organized all the time.
No, I'm jealous.
I'm
And I'm like-
envious.
But if I'm not organized, because I do so much, you know, like I said, I'm trying to write all these shows and do all this stuff that if I'm not organized, it's a complete waste of time because then everything just goes away.
Right.
So it's like I have a folder on my desktop because I have, what's the script writing software? Final Draft on there.
Okay.
And so it's like the time show that I'm writing and then the kid show and all that, you know, it's just like, if you're not organized, it's a complete waste of time. What are you doing? So I have to be.
Smoking weed. God damn it. Playing Animal Crossing.
But the other thing is, like, I've been in school my entire life, you know, elementary school, high school, and then you get through college and then my master's degree, and I have 2 credentials, one for teaching, one for admin. So I've never not been in school up until like last year. So the habits I have as a person are all very academic.
Mm-hmm. But that's good. That generalizes very well.
Yeah.
So.
And it's like, no one ever accidentally went and got a bachelor's and a master's and all that stuff. Like, you have to go out of your way to do that stuff.
It's a decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're going to do that stuff, you're probably going to have the habits that allow you to do that stuff. Or at least when you finally get into it, you're going to develop the habits to be successful in that. And so those do translate to comedy, because I always tell people, no one's here to tell us how to do anything, right? Like, how do we produce an hour? Who fucking knows? You just get an hour together that you think is good, and then you have to, rent a theater and pay someone to film it, and then pay someone to edit it and hope that it comes out. And then what do? Just cold call Netflix and Amazon Prime and all these places and say, hey, anyone want to put this up? There's no mentor to just help people do this. Whereas I want to be a school leader. Oh, well, you go into this master's program, and now I have this counselor, and then I have this superintendent that they pair me with. And it's like very regimented, step-by-step process. But with comedy, there's no blueprint, because it could happen one of a million different ways. One of your clips could go viral, and you could be boom, and
God, I hope that doesn't happen to me.
you could also put 8 comedy specials up on Amazon Prime and have no one ever watch one of them.
Right.
You just don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So,
but you're making a bunch of money because they already paid for it. So.
True. Just talk people into money.
Yeah.
Fuck, the next time I come to your house, I'm going to find all the notebooks I have just so it looks like I work, you know? And then I'm going to slip a couple blank ones in there too, just to be like, yeah, this is what I got. I'm just trying to work on a couple of these.
I'll tell you what, I'm making a pledge right now. So we make it to, you do better than I do for writing. How about in 3 months we make a plan to go?
Let's do this. So Mike James and I went up to my cabin in Big Bear.
Oh God, I've never been.
And after all the hot man love, we sat down and we outlined my entire hour and his initial 30. Literally spent the entire weekend up there with a giant whiteboard going over every bit. And we're going to go back up, because I've done since then probably 4 different 20 or 25-minute sets. I did 2 30s that we're going to watch. I'm going to track the laughs per minute on all the bits, figure out how long they are, figure out exactly what my hour looks like. So if you guys have the desire to actually do this, because we don't bullshit and sit around and I stopped doing big writing sessions because no one took them as serious as my nerd ass wanted them to.
Yeah.
So I just stopped doing them. But if you're actually going to go up there and want to work and organize and do this shit for 8 hours, then
we actually work very well together.
we will all
do
go up to Big Bear, up to my cabin, and we will do this shit. Because I will tell you the biggest difference in doing longer sets. I feel like when you get asked to do a show, and I'm like, hey, can you do 15 or 20? And you're like, okay, I'm going to go through my material. It's overwhelming. I don't know if it is for you guys, but for me, it's overwhelming.
To just pick 10 minutes.
Once I organize and what I
bit.
think is my 60, now when people are like, hey, you want to do this?
You pick a chunk.
That's it.
Yeah.
And I have
pick a starting place.
Yeah. Basically it. And I have my chunks are 20 on marriage, 20 on being a former teacher, 20 on society. And so you don't want to do the same thing in your whole set. So I'll do 5, 5, 6, whatever.
That's kind of how I did when I first hosted at the Improv. It was 15 minutes. I was like, okay, that kind of made me nervous. I don't know if I'd ever done 15 at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I probably maybe had done it once. Actually, I think we were doing the Hideaway show. I don't remember. But it was still okay, it has to be good 15. You know,
Yeah.
it's at the Improv. So
Right.
I was like, all right, let me like figure out 3 5-minute chunks that I do at open
That's it.
mics,
That's
you know,
it. Yeah.
and just that's it. That's my set.
So this will piss you off. So you remember that 20 that I did that you saw me at the Improv?
Yeah.
18 of that was new and had never been done before. I did my normal 2-minute opener.
Never been done, but worked on still, I would say.
No.
No? You didn't. I mean, you didn't spend time to write it out. You didn't
Oh yeah,
think it-
That's worked on and edited, yes.
Yeah,
but
that's
had
what I
never
mean.
been spoken in front of a crowd,
Yeah, that's.
which is nerve-wracking to do
ballsy.
at a improv show where there's 150 people there.
But you know
Yeah.
what's funny? You know, I don't mean to sound like Bill Cosby, but you know what's funny.
Yeah.
It's more about the timing, and if
Yeah,
if you have it worked out already, most of that's done.
I think a lot of your comedy, especially, is like very like what am I trying to say? Like you have a point to make.
yeah. It's not just like
I just kind of talk shit, and so like I kind of rely on that probably too much. But like if I write too much, then I'm like thinking too much about what I'm supposed to say, and I'll forget something, and it's like now I have to think of the order that I'm supposed to say it in. So it's like I have a problem with like memorizing like from like a document,
and that's why my whole pre-show ritual, the point of printing out that anthology, or at least the bits, I'll copy and paste the bits I'm going to use that night, is writing the segue to the next page on the bottom. Because if you're doing a different order each time and always doing, the same bits but in a different order, I just want to transition to the next one at least somewhat naturally. But writing the segue helps my brain get there because you're like, fuck, what's next? But to your point, like, yes, that's also a problem where my bits need to have a meaning or a purpose. Because there are so many like surface level jokes that are funny that I'll just leave on the table because I don't feel like, oh, that's not the most clever thing I've ever heard. I'm not going to add that. And so I leave a lot of laughs. And so that's where Mike Gonzalez really helps me. He's like, he'll give me tags that I normally wouldn't have thought of because it's not like the deepest, most like clever joke in the world, but it's still really good.
right.
And I kind of gloss over that trying to go too deep sometimes. And so that's why I like having other people and they're like, oh, why don't you say this, 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 and this? And you're like, oh yeah, that's actually really good.
Right.
And so I always try to give tags to everyone. I mean, I've done it to both of you guys, I think. The minute you get off stage, you probably have a text message from me. Like I had told Alec Damani about the dicks and the guns exploding in your hand. I was like, bro, say something immediately after that. Like the bigger, the better. Guns too. Like he's just like, oh, fuck, that's so good. And I'm like, yeah, take it. But some people get bitter if you give them tags. And
Yeah.
like, we're just all just trying to help, man. It's not.
Yeah, some people.
Some people don't know how to give that advice properly, though. Like there's some people where it's like you're being a little aggressive, and I don't appreciate it.
Well, that's why I always start.
Also, I don't respect you in comedy, so
That's,
shut the fuck up.
That's the other thing. You probably have a message from me that says, "Hey, I don't know if you take tags from other people, or but here's."
I'm very open.
Yeah.
It's just easier to write. It's easier to create when you're open to everything.
When we did the roast for Aaron, we got together, and like I don't think either of us had, well, one, never written like roast jokes with someone else, and two, never like trusted another person to like write with like that. And so like when we got probably like 10, 15 minutes in, and we really started like
Yeah.
clicking.
It was also just a good time.
yeah.
I know. I'm sad I missed that. I think I was I up north for a wedding? I think.
Yeah, you were busy.
Yeah.
So was Mike Gonzalez. So
It's a good time.
it's all right. You guys didn't like it.
There was
anyways.
some really good jokes.
Yeah.
No, see,
I was pleasantly surprised.
Same.
But at the same time, there were some people that just didn't write anything. I was like, you do not know how roasts work?
yeah. No, after Aaron put his special out on YouTube, I was at the beach house, my wife's grandma's beach house. And my wife was at the beach, and I was like, I'm going to stay in here, and I'm going to listen to this. And I ended up sending Aaron like 2 pages of notes. I was like, hey, man, I don't know if you want these or if you're, interested or whatever, but here's 2 pages of my thoughts, from an old white guy.
So productive.
I'm an old white guy.
We're his
And
friends.
he's just
when
like,
you're
oh
doing
my
it.
God. And so we started talking about redoing that special with both of us on stage, alternating between the perspectives of an African-American and a white guy, and telling our stories just to show how we have completely different life experiences.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I've ever told the story about how my guard at an old school I worked at brought me what could have been cocaine and was like, I found this in the bathroom. And then I took it to the police station to get it tested. And they're like, we don't do that here. And I'm like,
You're like, all right, great.
yeah. And I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do with it? And they're like, you can give it to us or you can take it and blah, blah, blah.
You can take it and blah, blah, blah?
Yeah.
It's 45 on the street here. You take it 2 blocks down, you get 60.
And I'm in the police station, and I'm like, okay, if I didn't look the way I looked, this would be going completely different.
Oh, yeah.
And they were not the least. And I'm like, could you send a cop to my school? Could you? And they're like, no, we don't really have time. And the cops don't have field tests. And I was like, I find it incredible that I'm standing in the middle of a police station and telling you I might have cocaine, and you're not the least bit in. If I go outside and take 10 steps out and try to sell it to that homeless guy, are you going to come check it then?
That's fucking wild.
And she goes, fine, go back to your school. I'll send an officer. Officer shows up an hour and a half later, takes it from me. He's like, this is probably way too fine to be cocaine. Like, this would be pretty expensive cocaine that I doubt a high schooler would have access to. Not saying it's not cocaine, but it's probably not. I'll take it. And he took it. And that was that.
You didn't hear anything.
Never
and then
heard.
he went, oh,
Yeah.
shit.
He did it all.
Yeah.
Whose dad's got the good shit?
But I'm like, that's the difference between, like, the reality I live in and, some
Yeah.
of the stories Aaron's telling. And so I
Whereas,
was
like, if a black guy finds cocaine in a school, he's just going to sell it to the kids immediately.
Yeah. I need to find those 2 pages of notes because there were some really good points in there that he was just like, holy shit, this is awesome. We went back and forth on Instagram for like an hour after I watched it, just going over new ideas and stuff. And he was all about it. And then we just couldn't find the time to sit down and do it.
Yeah, that's probably going to be the problem. But if we plan something out in advance,
All right, we can pick a day. We'll do Big Bear. Like,
Can we go running?
you can.
I think I will
Mike
die.
James. So Mike James woke up early. So it's a 2-bedroom cabin and plus the couch out in the living room.
I'm trying
Mike
to
James
snuggle.
woke up early and went to CrossFit in the morning. So
I bet there's some baddies in his gym. That's why.
no, it was up in Big Bear. He just found one.
Oh, those CrossFit
wow.
bitches are fine.
Yeah.
All of them.
So I'm
100%.
like, I don't give a fuck what you do up there as long as it doesn't interfere with me sleeping when I need to sleep. Other than that, just us working on comedy and eating.
All right, we're going running. Well,
So
a mile.
you give me
in
a
Big
date.
Bear. We
Let's-
might throw up.
Why
but
don't we do
whatever.
October?
What month is it? August,
Yeah.
September.
Well, let's not.
October?
Let's
Okay.
not.
Is that enough
This
time?
sounds like an open invite
I'm
to
gonna
everyone
give you
listening.
like bi-weekly updates. Like, you motherfuckers better be doing.
What day are we? Or
Good.
like what?
Go
day
up
would
there
you-
Friday.
like Friday night.
And then work on shit Saturday. You know what? Isn't there like a 3-day weekend in October?
I mean, there's Labor Day coming up.
I don't know. I'm down. Can I not drive?
You can ride with him.
Can I not drive?
I have a really shitty car. I don't know if it'll make it. I'm kind of scared.
Fine, I'll drive.
This is already not going
I
well.
was kind of hoping to ride with Brian, to be honest.
So October 11th is Columbus Day
Mm.
or Indigenous Peoples
Can
Day.
we do September?
Ooh.
We could do September.
Kidding.
I'm not entirely sure that I will get that day off of work.
What, the 11th?
Yeah. Indigenous Peoples Day? I don't think.
I don't think he's allowed.
We'll figure it out. We'll
Yeah.
figure out a date.
I'm down. I guess we're doing this. I recorded it. If you're listening, you're not invited, but
Yeah.
thanks for listening to our hangout. Like,
Yeah,
this
we'll
was.
figure it
And
out.
we can bring video games up there too.
No, I won't be productive.
But yeah, I generally won't if that's what we're doing is just comedy. I brought a whiteboard. Mike had a whiteboard, and then
I'm gonna bring a blackboard
We
just
had-
to balance it out.
of course, inclusion. Bring your gay board. Like, everything will be fine, and we'll get shit worked out. Because otherwise, like, what are you working towards? I always tell people, if Netflix called you tomorrow, said, "Hey, how much time can you do?"
I would tell them
30.
4.5 hours.
30. That's what I would
30 you're
say.
confident about.
I would make it confident.
But if you had to do it tomorrow, you put a
It
good
would
30
be
on
rough.
tape.
It would be rough.
Okay. How much can you put on tape tomorrow? That's good.
15.
Okay. George.
Probably like 15 or 20.
Yeah, I was gonna say 15, somewhere between 15 and 20.
Yeah. Not a length of time where I get to, because I haven't had a set where I'm like, oh, that was all my good shit.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I probably could have fit that in there. So probably about 15 to 20.
I don't feel like I'm quite at feature level yet,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to do until you actually get the time to consistently do it.
Yeah.
I would have said that either like 6 months ago, but then like doing the 225s in Idaho and the recent 20s I've been doing, and then even the 30 that I did. Like I did a 45 for the troops up at Fort Irwin. After all that, the Idaho thing is what blew my mind the most, because I did 25, and then the next night I did 25, but I did a different 15 in the middle.
Ooh.
And it's still all the way through just was amazing.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, that's a solid fucking 40, and I didn't even do a lot of the stuff that's always done well still.
Mm-hmm.